welcome back, everyone, to another Coach Blakers podcast. I know it's been a long time, a very long time, but we are back. We're going to be doing the patch notes for preseason, and this is stuff subject to change within the next season, but this is pretty much what we're working for the next season coming up, which is season 12. If we reach 10 likes, I'll continue to pump out more podcasts for you guys in this preseason and within the next season. If we can reach 20 likes, 20, dang, I'll consider bringing back some of the old content that I used to have, like the Is It Clickbait and the Beginner's Guide videos and, things like that. And if we can reach 30, I'm thinking about like doing gameplay commentaries. I have an account for each role, and so while climbing those, just have some gameplay commentaries about why I'm doing stuff, what I'm doing, when it's the time to do it, and stuff like that as I'm playing through the ranks for the games. So if that interests you, click thumbs up. Also, for a limited time only, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be having a pre-season code in the description below for $5 off everything on my site. So that's not gonna last that long, but $5 off everything on my site. If you used it, preseason code will be in the link description below. I don't know what the code name will be yet. Maybe I'll just call it preseason. I don't know. We'll just pre 2012. That's not even. Let's go with these patch notes. Okay, so let's do it up. How y'all doing? I see you with your little church clothes on. Praise the Lord. Hallelujah. I see you. Okay. Okay. Here we go. So, boom, baby. Okay, that's Vi, apparently. Preseason 2022 is here, and it's big. I'm not going to read all that stuff, though. You guys know how I do it, my patch notes. So there's a lot of things changing and stuff like that. So I'm going to try to make it as short as possible. Into the Arcane. Every legend has a beginning and blah, 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 blah. So these are pretty much just like the Arcane updates still. As you see, Ultimate Spellbook is coming back. The little mode where you can use different ultimates on different characters. That's actually really cool. Avatar creator. If you haven't, make your avatar. If you haven't made your avatar yet, make your avatar and then show me my Discord. I posted mine. I want to see yours. So show me your Discord what it looks like. Arcane Rift accents. Blah, 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 blah. Tourists have gotten a makeover in Riot X Arcane. Maybe you'll notice the new Arcane theme, the loading screens. Okay, and then the Caitlyn update. She looks really good. I like it. It's very good. Okay, objective bounties. Okay, this on paper, this seems huge, okay? The thing with objective bounties is it is a major turnaround. I played a few games before I even did this. I played like 4 or 5. The objective bounties are actually pretty good. The thing is, I even went in spectate mode just to see how much the gold fluctuates. A lot of the bounties are split between all 5 players. Now, that seems crazy because it's like Tower Gold, like everybody gets it. But the thing is, it's not that good if you don't get consistent objectives. And the timer actually falls off. And it'll come back, but it falls off if you take too long, and then it'll come back and then it'll fall off. It's not as broken as I thought it would be. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people thought it was broken when they first did it or when they first seen it. And they're like, oh my gosh, this is so insane. It's not really that insane. It's a really good comeback mechanic. I do agree it's necessary, especially if you have a jungler that's very good at taking objectives, but they're just not really good at ganking early. It gives you the opportunity to be like, okay, I'm not going to be ganking early. You guys are falling behind, but it's fine. I get these objectives, and then we can go ahead and get some stuff happening. Like it gives another depth to like playing, especially late game champions. So I think it's very, very good. It's very crucial to have another swing without actually having to kill the champion. And it's another way for people to throw the game. As I said, though, it's not as broken as it might seem because you have to get it consistently. Getting one isn't just going to propel you back into the game. You have to get consistent objectives. And if you can manage to pull that off, you will come back massive. And in which case, the other team will then get the objective bounties. And it'll kind of flip-flop. It's pretty nuts. Okay. And then after losing it, it has like different... You see these icons are a little bit different. It has the objective bounties there. And it shows what's split and things like that. So it's pretty cool. I like it. Very, very solid idea. Jungle changes. We introduced a new dragon to the Rift, complete with new buffs. Okay, so we have the Hextech Drake. Once again, I like it. Not as busted as I thought it would be with when I heard of it, but like it's still pretty good. So let's read through it. Hextech Dragon buff grants up to 5% bonus damage per stack against enemies with 340 to 1020 your level, of course. More current health than you. So current health is actually not how much health in total. So let's say if I have 1,000 HP and you get me down lower than 1,000, well then the values will change in terms of how the Hextech Dragon applies it. So it's current HP. All right, so it's not like based on just how much in general you have as a pool. It's the how much you have right now, and it'll do damage based off that. When a teammate obtains the Hextech Dragon Soul, they receive a buff that grants them a brief second of life. Basically, you come back to life. Champions revive with 80% of their HP, and gain 20 or 75 to 30% ranged and melee, decaying movement speed. Revived champions take 40% less damage, deal 33% less damage, and take damage equal to an ever-increasing percent of their HP. So this is actually really cool. I do like this. They also made it so you're not broken when you come back. Like initially I thought like you come back and you can do all this crazy stuff. What? That's stupid. But realistically you come back, you're actually doing less damage than you used to. But fun fact, if you're playing Viego and you die, you could come back and you could still take souls and pick people up and still use them. It's pretty nuts. But for the most part, it's still really cool, especially if like you're doing a base race or something like that, or you just need a couple hits on the Nexus, you die, and then you come back to life and you get it. It's really cool. I think it's a really cool change, but it's not something that's insane. I think something that Riot always does, in my opinion, is like they'll accidentally make things They'll accidentally make things seem way more OP than it is without actually giving us all the details. So up front, it's like, oh, Hextech Dragon brings you back to life. That's actually insane. What the heck? And then you read it and it's like, oh, it's not as crazy as I thought. Also, the rift changes. The gas zones emerge into 4 locations and they camouflage your champion. So camouflaging your champion is sort of like Evelynn and Twitch, where you become invisible and you have a perimeter. And if you get inside the perimeter, they can see you, and also pink wards can see you. No other wards can see you, and nobody can see you unless you get close enough to the person. But the range is huge. It's like really big. You could take advantage of it being that little zone, but it is still incredibly big. I don't think it changes the game that much. As like I said before, when I first heard about it, I was like, that sounds ridiculously OP. But then when you get in, it's like, it's really cool. It's another way to play, but it's nothing like game breaking where it's like, this is stupid. This is like needs to go away. It's actually pretty nice. It's pretty nice. And then champions within the zone deal up to 10% more damage to the enemies who have current health, more current health than the maximum damage is achieved when blah, 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 blah. So basically you get the Hextech Dragon like buff inside the zone, without actually having the buff to you. Camouflage enemies are not revealed by regular vision wards, but they are revealed by control wards, scryers of bloom, and effects that reveal invisible units. They're also revealed while you're standing near them. So once again, just like any regular camouflage champion, which is why I think it's cool. Hextech Drake. Okay, this is another one. So Hextech Dragon, it grants 5 ability haste and 5% attack speed per stat. Now that's pretty nuts, especially if you're dealing with champions that have high attack speed, or if you're dealing with champions that are just really casting based. You can get that bonus attack speed for those champions. Even if you're a mage, having more attack speed is still kind of nice. You can pump out a little bit more damage than you usually would. Hextech Dragon Soul, when a team obtains the Hextech Dragon Soul, they gain a chain lightning slow on their next basic attack or ability that deals a percent amount of damage. I'm not going to read all the values, and the cooldown is 8 seconds. Pairs of Hextech. This is the rift change right now. So that was the soul. What you get when you get the soul. This is going to be the rift change. So Hextech gates appear, and as you see right there, you can take the portal, and it will send you into these various locations. Once again, not as broken as I thought. It's a channel time, and you can't really take it if you're being hurt, so it's not really insane. And each pair of Hextech gates, as you see right here, has a 30-second individual cooldown per champion. So if you take it once, you can't like take it again and again and again. It's a 30-second cooldown, and I think they might increase that. We'll see. But once again, it seems a lot more OP than it is, and it only goes into one direction. It doesn't go back and forth, back and forth. It's one direction. Except these ones right here, as you see. Actually, do those go in one direction? I don't even recall if they do. I think these go in the opposite directions. Now I'm second guessing myself, and I just played it. I think these go in the opposite directions. Whether you take them, so from over here I can take the gate and get to my side. From over here, take the gate to get that side. But these ones are only to one area, so pretty cool. Pretty cool. Maybe they tell me here. They don't tell you. They don't tell you. Oh wait. Allow champions to quickly travel from one location to its paired counterpart. Okay, so yeah. These ones actually allow you to go back and forth. But the other ones are like barred tunnels, where it's like you only can go through once this way, but you can't come back. So that's pretty cool. Once again, like I said, if you hit them, it's a channel, so it's not as busted as it seems. Cloud Dragon, I think this was good. This was huge. Removing this 12 ultimate ability haste, which was way useless if you're not even a champion that, like, even so, the fight, if you don't even have this, the fight will still break out and you will be able to use your ultimate even if you don't have this. So it's like it's not necessary. But the change right here, 3.5% out of combat movement speed, nuts, especially with Relentless Hunter champions or like Gwensu's champions, like things like I can't even talk. Things that like to roam around a lot. Really insane. And then the slow resistance for things like Darius, Garen, Gnosis. These are good. This is a good change. These are really good changes. And then the Rift Scuttle. So basically what they did with this, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but basically what they did with this is they made the first Rift spawn of the Scuttle way easier to take, and it's worth less experience and gold than the ones after. They felt like the games are decided too quickly because people will int a lot for these Scuttle crabs, but since they're so much smaller, they give reduced experience and reduced gold. Oh wait, not reduced gold. I'm trolling. Just as reduced experience. I swear when I hit it, it was reduced gold though. I thought it would give you like 80. But now it gives you 77. Maybe I just wasn't reading patch notes or something. But for sure, it says 80% reduced. So like you're not getting level 4 if you clear all your camps and then you get this. You have to do both of them to get level 4. So once again, I think it's really cool. It does put a lot less emphasis on that crab. Doesn't mean you don't get it? No, because the utility from the vision is really, really good, especially when you're dealing with roaming mid laners. So I still think it's something to get, but it's not something to int over. Like it doesn't really give you a big advantage unless you're already close to leveling up. New items. Okay. So these are pretty nuts. So this item right here, I thought was insane. This item is probably going to need to go or get a nerf. But basically what this item does is you are safeguarded, reducing incoming champion damage by 75%. So think about the Malzahar passive. Safeguard persists for 1.5 seconds after taking damage from a champion. 40 seconds cooldown, and then restarts upon taking damage from an enemy champion. So it's 40 second initial cooldown, and if you take a damage again, it's going to go back to 40 seconds. So it is like once again, like on the surface, it seems broken, and then they like give you all the details, and it's like, oh, it's not actually that bad. This I still think is bad if you can get the shield back. While safeguarded, and for 3 seconds after it's broken, you gain 10 to 40 based on your champion's level ability power, which I think is pretty good. Also grants all the legendary items 1% movement speed and 8 ability power. So this is scary. This movement speed is a little scary, I think. Especially because a lot of champions that are probably immobile mages will be taking this. I'm pretty sure other champions will take it too, but we're just going to be focusing on the immobile champions here. They're going to be taking it, I think, quite a lot. So the fact that they're going to be quicker, I don't know what it is about Riot wanting to make these immobile champions like mobile. Have you noticed that? Like ADCs that got Gale Force, like you got all these items to make a champion like do things they're not supposed to do. And I don't know, man. Ever Shroud. Okay, so I've seen an Udyr build this. I don't even know why, but he did. After mobilizing a champion or being immobilized, causes that targeted and nearby enemies to repent, increasing the damage they take by 12% for 5 seconds. This also grants all legendary items 5 armor and 5 magic resist. So once again, I think this is like a support item or just a tank item in general. I don't think it's a support only item, but I think there's a lot better items to rush as a tank than this. Unless you're like, once again, just kind of a support already. But I think this is really cool. I think it's something that's needed. It's kind of like everybody has a Leona passive or a Leona W. So I think it's nothing too crazy. I think it's something that needed to be added. Okay, this one. So whenever an enemy champion dies within 3 seconds after you've damaged them, refund 25% of your ultimate's total cooldown. So this passive for this item, it's not as insane as it might seem. And I know a lot of people might have videos on it like, oh my gosh, 25, this is insane. You're kind of in that same scenario as if unless your champion actually can use their ability twice before a team fight, or like before their next pick comes, it's not really that great, right? Like Kayn, for example. I think it's cool on him, but you have to think like unless you're going like, I don't know, Shadow Kane, right? You're probably going to be team fighting a lot more with Ross. Therefore, like this wouldn't really do much for you. And I know that, you know, Ross can build either or if he wants to. But for Blue Kane, like if you're fighting in a team fight setting, like if your team wants to team fight more, it's not really that great because by the time you team fight again, it's ready to go, which would have been the case anyway. So I think this item is just more for like picks. It's more for either like really good picking champions, which is, I mean, why it's a lethality item, right? I think it's more for like really good pick champions, so like Talon. Kion is a good one. Nocturne, I think give or take on that one. But like things that are really, really good at picking people off, this is really good for. And I know this is an assassin items, as it says right here, an assassin, like they're meant to pick people off. But you know, sometimes some games aren't. Some games you're not allowed to pick people off. I don't know if you guys ever have that happen before, but some games like the comp is so good, like you're not picking anybody off. Either you're fighting a skirmish or something like that. You're not actually getting a pick off unless you're massively fed or you're smurfing. So you have to read the game a little bit better before buying this item, but I do think it's a good item if your champion is good at picking people off. Shadow Flame. This one I think was necessary. Basically, just a Serpent's Fang for AP carries. Pretty much what Serpent's Fang is. Did I say Fang? Serpent's Fang. Pretty much what that is an item that reduces the amount of like, you do more damage to things that are shielded, and you allow their shields. I can't even talk. You do more damage to things that are shielded, and if they did not have a shield yet, you give them a debuff, which makes their shield a little bit less useful. So as you see right here, damage to champions benefit from 10 to 20 magic penetration based off target's current health, maximum value, blah, 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 blah. Gains the magic penetration if the target's recently affected by shields. So, see? You get a little bit more damage to them. Actually, now reading it, it doesn't give the debuff. It just allows you to do more damage to him. What? Right. What? This isn't even the same thing. Okay. Well, it's something. Okay, AP characters, it's something. I thought it would literally give them the debuff that Serpent's Fang does, but it doesn't. It's not the same thing. Wow. Okay. Well, it's something. Like I said, it's just not the same thing. Winter's Approach. Tanks who need mana can really struggle during team fights as they slowly grind through their mana bars. Let the spell spamming commence. Okay. This item upgrades for Winter's Approach upon reaching mana charge. Okay, so it's basically like a tank Muramana, pretty much. Slowing melee only, or immobilizing an enemy champion consumes 2% of current mana and grants a shield for... Whoa! Okay, so this thing is kind of nutty. I think I've seen one person build it. It's not as insane as it might seem. Once again, it's like they're doing a really good job of making items character, or not character, I guess you can say like role specific. Not really role specific. Let me use another one. Trait specific. Like a lot of their items right here are like for special circumstances or like for specific like types of characters or champions. And I think that's good. Before that, when they would just make items and other characters and champions and stuff like can use it, but now it looks like they're trying to hone in on like only these specific champions can use them and things like that. So I think that's a pretty good thing to go for. Obviously, people are going to be very, very creative and they're going to still do things, but primarily they're doing a good job of like saying these specific items are really going to be good for these specific people. And if you want to try some stuff, you can, but these are designed for that. So that's good. Bombi Cinder now also execute minions that would be killed by one more tick of Immolate. This is actually a really good change. There's a lot of times where I would coach people and they're playing tanks and they get Bombi Cinder and it doesn't execute the minion. Therefore, they miss the minion. But this is going to help you. This is going to be able to help you CS way better. And tanks are going to, I think, slowly come back into the meta. It's going to be very, very easy to CS with them. And it's going to be really good. As it doesn't say monsters. So monsters won't be executed, but minions will. So this is going to help you CS a lot. I think this is so good. And that, look, they said, instead of often throwing off your CSing because your minions would steal the last hits. Yep. This is good. Bombi Cinder is good. Tanks are probably going to come back in the top lane. I mean, they're already coming back, but like come back harder, I think. Frostfire Gauntlet. Basic attacks create a slow field for 1.5 seconds. And they deal magic damage to all enemies in the area. Enemies that move across the field are slowed, slow rate, and cooldown unchanged. So you're just getting more damage for being a tank. so you feel a little bit more useful. Turbo Kim Tank has changed. Now it gives you like a dead man's type of thing where you run around the map and oh yeah, it is. Okay, moving and dealing damage. You run around the map and do damage and whatnot, and it gives you the stacks. So instead of like dead man's where you hit somebody and it goes away, when you hit someone, it'll still stack up. When you're at 100 stacks, you can then use your Kim Tank again. I think it's pretty good. I think it gives it a lot more. I think it gives it a better characteristic. Does that make sense? Like it's more of a unique item now than it was before. So I think Turbo Kim Tank, very good. I probably should have been saying these names, because if you're listening to this, you probably don't know what I was talking about. So talking about Even Shroud. Is it Even Shroud? This is why I don't want to do it. So Crown of the Shattered Queen, Even Shroud, Axiom Arc, Shadow Flame, and Winter's Approach. Those are the items that I was talking about in the past. So yeah, I think that's pretty good. This is new. Empowers each of your other legendary items with 5 ability haste and 50 health. Once again, something that's just making tanks come back. Sunfire Aegis. So empowers each of your other legendary items with 5% slow resistance, 5% tenacity, and 50 health. So they're giving all these things like scaling abilities with HP. I think that's good. Because I was saying a lot that Magic characters tend to do a freak ton more damage than like AD characters. It's very easy to itemize against the AD characters, right? It's very hard to itemize against an AP character. They do so much damage. But with this thing scaling up to HP, it's not magic resist, but like HP still counters damage. So I think that's really, really good, especially like true damage characters. Like I think this is really, really good, and it makes tanks actually become tanks. I think that's solid. Abyssal Mask. So this change was really interesting to me. So we have something added, which is 10 ability haste here. We also have curse nearby enemy champions, reducing their magic resist by 5 plus 1% bonus HP. I think pretty good, pretty insane. For each cursed enemy, gain 7 magic resist. So pretty much it's doing what the old Abyssal Mask was doing, but instead of like hitting them and immobilizing them, something that maybe not all champions do have, you can still walk around and still activate its passive. So I think once again, that was just something that was necessary and something that I think was pretty good to have. Force of Nature. So this was updated and changed. Taking magic damage from enemy champions. Wait, what? Taking magic damage from enemy champions grants a stack of steadfast. Max 6 for 5 seconds. Enemy immobilizing effects grant an additional 2 stacks. So basically, you getting hit by unique abilities would trigger this. So let's say if you're dealing with a Malzahar, right? This is really good for Malzahar. But the thing is, Malzahar, the way it works is like he uses one ability, more or less, right? If you dodge the silence, and his W isn't even an ability, it's just little creatures that are auto-attacking you. So how do you use this against the Malzahar? Unless you have somebody else there. But what this helps you do is taking damage from an enemy champion grants a stack, right? So it doesn't even matter. As long as you're taking damage, it gives you more stacks. Enemy immobilizing effects grant 2 stacks. So if a Malzahar does silence you, even though he's using one ability, actually, I'm sorry, not silence you, ulting you, my bad. It's still giving you all those stacks. So you're still getting tanky while being ulted by Malzahar. And if those of you that don't know, Malzahar's ult is kind of like a tank buster. So it's really good for that. And a lot of champions like Azir and Morgana, these things with like ticking damage, Force of Nature was hard for that to proc. So I'm actually glad. I'm actually glad about this. While at 6 stacks, you take 20% reduced damage and gain 10% increased movement speed. They are making tanks come back. I'm hype. No more of this one-shot meta. Let's go, Riot. Let's go. Okay, here we go. Knight's Vow. This is updated. While your worthy ally is nearby, redirect 10% of the damage they take, and you heal 8% of the damage they deal to champions. If they have less than 30% health, redirect 20% damage they take instead. So the lower your ally is when you put the Knight's Vow on them, the more damage you can soak up for them. So that's pretty much what it is. Aegis of Legend, just cheaper. So all this other stuff is just cheaper. So Mage Items. All right, Everfrost grants all legendary items 10 ability power instead of 15 ability power. So they're just kind of nerfing it. Everything else is kind of unchanged, it looks like. Oh, no. It's cheaper. Everfrost is cheaper now. Okay. But it, like I said, it still gives you the 10 less. But they're making it cheaper. Why? AP mana users who don't need luxury damage options right away. So we're bringing Everfrost price down. Oh, no. Oh, no. I don't know about that one, right? Demonic Embrace. Okay, I was talking about this item being so broken, but I don't know what they're going to do. Demonic Embrace should be a core item for AP bruisers, battle mages, and tanks who want to do more damage. It was fulfilling that role. It wasn't fulfilling that role very well, so we're removing its stacking resistance, boosting its for melees, and giving it a new passive that will make those. Let's see. Dealing ability damage burns enemies. Okay. Max health damage every second for 4 seconds. No longer grants bonus resistance while enemies burn. Grants 2% of your bonus health as ability power. Oh, this is good. This is good. Okay, so this does nerf the item. It's like an indirect nerf. That's good. Okay. Because a lot of champs would be really, really tanky. And they would just take this, and they'd be super... yeah, this was good. They're doing a good job now balancing this stuff. Riot, I see you. Okay, maybe rank season next season will be good. Okay. Gain ability haste equal to 0.5% bonus mana. This is the Archangel's staff. I always thought this item sucked after they changed it. But now it's giving you bonus HP. Gain ability haste equal to 1.3% of mana. This is after it transforms. And then also restores health equal to 40% of mana spent up to 25 to 50 plus 10% ability power per cast. Toggles can restore the same amount per 1 second. What? So it heals you. Wait, Archangels and Seraphs were basically just big powerful sticks of AP and mana this year, or pushing it to be fit spell slinging battle mages bruiser style. Yeah, okay. So it's kind of like Omnivamp, but it's not Omnivamp. But it's giving you HP back based off your mana spent. Oh, this is kind of nice. This is good. A lot of these items have better identities now. They're doing a good job so far. I haven't seen anything stupid. Cosmic Drive was strong throughout the season, but not very exciting. We're amplifying up the fantasy of move fast, cast fast item and making its passive available sooner. So they changed the build path, looks like. And they give you 5% more movement speed or when you finish it. And then damaging a champion with 3 separate attacks or spells grants 20% movement speed, decaying to 10%, and 40 ability power until leaving combat. That's kind of nuts. This is So things like Rise, Cassiopeia, you know, things that like to really like move while they're casting. This seems busted. I like this. I like this a lot. Having the movement speed decay to 10%. I mean, you still have the movement speed, but it's just decaying to 10%. So you'll still be fast in the combat. And then you get 40 ability power until leaving combat. Like, this is nuts. These are like insane. All right, Horizon Focus. Horizon Focus was pretty niche glass cannon item that essentially gave long-range mages a lot of burst, a lot of bonus damage. Where bordering item use... Wait, what? We're broadening its use case so that more champs feel happy picking it up. 150 health, 15 ability haste added, and then now also applies hyper shot to slow it. So I don't really know what hyper shot is. Like, I'd have to like look that up because I was reading this before and I was like, "What's hyper shot?" I didn't even look it up yet. I'm gonna assume it's the passive of the item. Oh, it is the passive of the item. So the passive where if you hit somebody, they take increased damage and they're obviously seen. This is actually a really good update. I like this. Now you don't actually have to hit them from like a long range unit. You can just slow them. This is going to be hell on Xerath. Excuse my French, but ooh, Xerath is going to be a pain. I hate that champ. I feel like people who play Xerath are just always good players. That's why I hate that champ. It's like, I know you're going to be a pain in my ass. Same thing with Victors. Oh my goodness gracious. Like, you know, there's some champions in the game where it's like, if it's picked, you know that player is going to be a pain in your side. Xerath is one of them. Oh god, and Lux is going to be useful with that too. Jeez. Okay, Void Staff basically just increasing the cost actually, changing how the build path is. These are just kind of little nerfs and buffs, and I'm not going to really talk too much about it. Doran's Ring. So this actually was a good update that I've seen. So the Doran's Ring changed from, instead of killing a unit, what's going to happen is restore 0.75 mana every second. Damaging an enemy champion increases this amount to 1.25 mana every second for 10 seconds. If you can't gain mana, restore 50% of the value as health instead. Talk about a sustain item for AP champions. Woo, Riot, you doing it. Okay. Hextech Alternator giving you health, but it's building differently, and it actually, they just nerfed it, basically. Hextech Rocket Belt, changed the way that it's built. Changed the way that it's built. Night Harvester, changed the way that it's built. It's still the same cost. Lethality items. So I was actually looking at this too. This is pretty cool. So lethality, I can't even talk. Dust Blade of Drakthar. Bonus AD on next basic attack against an enemy champion deals blah, 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 blah. But they changed it to deal more damage. Talk about that. Talk about that. So like, it's more of a power spike. So rushing this item as fast as possible, getting good farm. You don't have to snowball to be useful. Like Ring Guards, I think, will be coming back, where like I can just chill out and just get some nice kills. I don't have to force myself to. I don't have to force feed myself. When I get this item, I'm coming online. I think that's the sense of all these mythics anyway. They're pretty much supposed to bring you online when you get them, and I think sometimes they don't achieve that purpose. So I think these changes, to give them a little oomph with them coming, and it's a little bit cheaper too. It allows you to hit that spike a lot faster, but it also allows you to hit that spike a lot harder. So once again, I'm excited for that. Okay, Eclipse. I think it's broken. It needs to be changed. Cooldown for melee champions reduced to 6 seconds from 8 seconds. Ugh. Right. Ugh. I don't know about that one. Prowler's Claw. The dash deals more damage now. Everything else is unchanged. Okay. So they're buffing Prowler's Claw. Yomu's Ghostblade costs more. Would think. Okay, so First Strike. I read First Strike. I didn't even know what was happening. I wasn't even sure what First Strike was. But we're going to talk about it together and try to figure it out. First Strike is a new inspiration keystone that gives you huge damage and gold boost when you strike an enemy champion first, but nothing if you get hit first. It's been great for artillery champions and assassins during playtests, and we're excited to see you experiment with this. I don't know why I'm reading like that. Okay, so First Strike passive. Basic attack or abilities against an enemy champion within 0.25 seconds of entering champion combat grants 5 gold and First Strike for 3 seconds. Causing you to deal 10% extra damage against champions, and granting 100%, 70% for ranged champions, of bonus damage dealt as gold. See, that's the part that gets me. I don't understand. Causing you to deal 10% extra damage against champions. Okay, I get that. Granting 100% of bonus damage dealt as gold. So you're telling me, like, if I hit someone, I just get gold? Okay, the bonus damage I do? Okay, let me... Causing you to deal 10% extra damage. Okay, so the 10% extra damage against champions, whatever it is, you're getting that amount of gold back. I don't even know what to say. This is like a jungle's paradise. You literally just take this and just clap people. Because realistically, you're supposed to hit them first when you're ganking, yeah? So, like, that's broken. I haven't tried it. I've seen people take it. It didn't really look like it was that great. But I might have to try that. If the enemy strikes you first, then the first strike goes on cooldown without providing any bonuses. Unlike Banshee's Veil, subsequent damage won't keep restarting the cooldown. I think that this is very niche, just like all Keystones. I don't know how it is. Like I said, I'll have to try it, but it seems interesting. It seems like it's very, very good for like what they just said, artillery mages and like assassins. So if you ever play any of those two, try it out, see what it is. Let me know in the comments below if you really like it or not. Omni Stone got removed. Who cares? That item sucked. Glacier Augment. Immobilizing an enemy champion will cause 3 glacial rays to emanate from them towards you. Wait, what? Immobilizing an enemy champion will cause 3 glacial rays to emanate from them towards you and other nearby champions. Creating frozen lines for a few seconds that slow enemies for. So if you immobilize somebody, the rays are coming from them. They're not coming from you, right? Immobilizing an enemy champion will cause 3 glacial rays to emanate from them towards you. Yeah, so it's coming at you. Before, the old one would like, it was an item, but it would shoot the rays towards them. No, it wasn't an item. It was Glacial Augment before they changed it. And it would shoot the rays towards them in like directions. But now it's coming to you. That's interesting. And other nearby champions. So it's like spreading out. Wait, that's actually insane. Okay. Creating frozen line for a few seconds that slows enemies for blah, 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 blah. And reduce their damage by 15% against your allies, not yourself. Wow. The frozen line lasts for 3 plus 100% of the final duration of mobilizing effect. Wow. Okay. This is some really good peel stuff. Let me see what they say. Some champions are using Glacial Augment Freeze Ray to CC enemies before casting Seal Shots to guarantee a wombo combo, which we thought was clever. Wasn't the intended design. The update version should appeal to tanks and some enchanters without removing skill expression. We think it'll be particularly useful to defending allies. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. This is pretty cool. Okay, lethal tempo. Let's move. Gain 15% for melee, 5% for range. Attack speed for 6 seconds when striking at least one enemy champion with each auto attack. The effects stack up to 6 times. While this effect is capped, also gain 50 for melee and 100 for ranged attack. Okay, so this was interesting. I think this is cool, but I think that range for AD carries is going to be a little bit busted. So if you're an attack speed AD carry, take lethal tempo. Like this on Jinx, Tristana, Caitlyn, like this is nuts. Like your range going to 100 extra? I don't know. Once again, though, I do think it's kind of niche. I don't think it's like ever going to overpower anything. Because once again, like you might not need it for the situation, right? You might want burst over just actual attack speed, like Lucian, right? You might not care about the lethal tempo. Same thing with Caitlyn. Like honestly, maybe some games you don't care about that, and you want to just get that one tap of headshots rather than just like constantly pelt them. I think it's definitely situational, but I think it's good. Ultimate Spellbook, I'm not going to talk much about because it's just a special game mode. Caitlyn, Jace, Jinx updates, I'm not going to talk about, but they just got some changes to their kits. All chat's been disabled. I don't know if it's disabled this patch for us, for NA, but I know it's disabled for other regions. End of season rewards, get that. Clash coming out, cool. Bug fix changes, quality of life changes. They're gonna have loot odds. That's pretty cool. Let you know what your odds are getting stuff. Tooltip trackers don't care, bug fixes don't care, and then the skins. Okay. I thought that Bard skin was really clean. Look at that. Look at that, man. If I was a Bard player, no you won't. Okay, this is a 40-minute pop. Oh my Jesus. I told it was gonna be long. I told you. I told you it was gonna be long. My bad, guys. I told y'all. But no, I think that was pretty good. I think those patches are exciting. As I said, if you guys want to get $5 off of everything on my site, use the code. I don't really know what the code will be, but it'll be in the description below. 10 likes, I'll bring back more podcasts, and I'll be doing more podcasts. 20 likes, I'll bring back some of my old content that I used to make. And then the 30 is going to be like gameplay commentaries and stuff like that. So if that's something that you're interested in, let me know. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for doing what? Approaching this like a coach. I guess it's the podcast more than a video. But yeah, I'll see you guys next podcast. Thank you guys for watching. I do appreciate it. I hope you guys have a wonderful time on that Rift.